see you, Joe.
Here we are. We're
All right.
going. So awesome to have you on again, Vince. From the last time we talked, there's been a lot of people that talked a lot about it and liked it, and they were mainly wanting us to talk about the mental side of things. So I thought that'd be a
Yeah,
good way to cover today. So
it's the the success in anything, is the mind, because
absolutely,
everybody has different ways of training, but the common denominator is mental. Mental.
absolutely. So I had some actually. I was started off. I had some people that are really into mental training that wanted me to ask you a few different questions. If we kind of started off, then just free float after that. That okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first one was someone was asking, a guy named Donnie Duncan was saying that you've remained relevant in the sport for a long time because as a lifter first, and now as like a coach and stuff. So, in a
Yes.
sport where people don't seem to remain relevant very long, the average powerlifting coach has probably been around for 3 years or something. How do you think you not only have like remained like a part of the sport, but an important part of the sport for so long?
Actually, Josh, I train people in all different sports. Now, I do mental training for powerlifting, but my
Yeah.
gym is in a power gym. I train high school athletes, college athletes, for different sports. And again, we get into the mental aspect of that too.
Okay.
We train the entire body. It's like a foundation. If a part of the foundation is weak, it's going to fall in. So for all sports, we train all the body parts in different angles. That's how we've been successful.
Okay, cool. And then, you were talking before, same guy asked the same question about how you kind of suspend all thought while you're lifting.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so now what happens? No, okay, so he wanted to know how exactly, is there any sort of like active technique you use? Because obviously, someone like you
That's analytical. Actually, when I went out there, I don't even remember my lifts. I just got into the feeling, not into the technique, but I got into the mental feeling and the emotional feeling of being successful. And then going out there and allowing it to happen. Allow it, not analyzing, allow it. But I would concentrate more on the feeling of being successful.
now what would happen? Okay, and the next question would be, so that's going well, but how about on, let's just say deadlift for bench and squat went well. So somehow you missed your second attempt on your deadlift, and you think you can come back and get on your third. How would you play it out then with like kind of suspending all thought when you need to come back and make a lift that you previously just missed?
I concentrate on being successful and when I was successful.
Okay.
That I had a program there. I concentrate on when I was successful, and I would get into that mindset, and go out there. Most of the time, when I missed a lift, it's because I was analyzing, thinking about it.
Interesting.
But most of the time, when I allowed it to happen, I made the lift. When I analyzed it, I was, a lot of times I would miss it.
That's interesting. Okay, cool. Was there any sort of technique you had to use to get to this point? Because obviously at your level, you do it over and over again. It kind of becomes automatic. Was it always the case that way when you first started out, or did you have to like actively kind of pursue nothingness, if you will?
Yeah.
That's an oxymoron.
I think of my, like I do with my clients, think of when you're performing your best. I get into that mindset in a relaxed state. I see what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I hear what I heard, and then I get into the feeling. And then I would use a trigger, like a clenched fist.
Oh, so that technique you used last time. So you train.
Yes. A clenched. I have another technique though now.
Okay.
It's called. I get into study all different forms of in dynamic spin release. Have you ever heard of that?
I know about it now from talking to you before, but I didn't prior to that. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm getting into that with some of my lifters and my athletes.
And tell people about that a little bit that don't know about it, because I think most people listening to this have not heard of that. So can you give us
you get into the mindset. You said when you were successful, you did your best.
Okay.
When you did your best lift or whatever, and then you get into the best, and you saw what you saw. you hear what you heard, and then you feel what you felt. And then, where is that feeling? Which part of the body is it in? You know, most of the time it's in the solar plexus or the heart. And you take that feeling and put it out here in front of you. And then you see which way is it spinning. Is it spinning clockwise or spinning counterclockwise? And then you increase the spin. And then you get it into, till it's really intense. And then you clench that fist then.
So is this something like almost like you do a hypnosis session with somebody, but doing this instead, or is this in a recording, or how does this work?
It's I don't know, hypnosis is sort of a mindset where you're getting into that mindset, successful mindset, and you get it outside and you.
No, I get that. I'm saying you. So when Vince Anello introduces this to a client, are they doing like a session where they sit there and you kind of go over this, like get into?
I guide them through it. Yes, I guide them through it when they're successful. I say they see what they saw, hear what they heard, and actually get into the feeling. And then what part of the body was it in? And then they put it outside themselves. And spinning. They spin, put your hand out, spin it clockwise and counterclockwise. Which way actually increases the intensity.
Okay.
It's a different technique.
No, I know the part about where you feel it and all that, like because you're right, solar plexus, all that. So I just hadn't heard of the spin. I didn't realize the spin part. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting because you could do it there. You could trigger just where you get the feeling and trigger this, or you could do the spinning too when you increase the intensity.
Okay.
Of the mind.
And is this rather recent development or no?
It's something I've been doing about a year or so. Yeah, I've been doing studying about it. It's new. I like to study everything. I like to keep an open mind.
And how old are you, Vince?
Well, in September I'll be 73.
Yeah, so that's interesting though, because like you're saying you're a lifelong learner here. I think that's sort of like a theme to people that achieve success is, it's not like you did it this way and that's just the way it was. You're continually learning, so that's awesome.
No, I don't say, hey, my way is successful. Mine is the only. No, I don't. My way is not the only way. There's so much out there, Josh, that I know very little about training or anything. Anybody knows very little because there's so much out there that we don't know.
For sure.
We think we know it all. We're not going to progress. We got to keep an open mind.
Okay. Yeah, I actually said.
That's my opinion. That's not the truth. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, I actually sent one of my clients over to you to do a session like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he did the session.
Daniel?
How does he like it?
He liked it a lot. So
yeah,
awesome. So that's why. And then other people just asked about it, so I figured we'd talk about it. So, do someone else asked how should someone focus their visualization priorities? Meaning, do you think it's better to focus more on the process of lifting, so like your training, focusing on what it's gonna take to get to the ultimate goal, or focus just at the end result?
You focus on the end result of which your best lift, your technique, and everything. You see yourself in third person sometimes, but that's not when you're competing. You want to get into when you're competing.
Okay.
But you do the technique and everything prior. Like training and all the visualization and all that.
What do you think are some common mistakes you see people that get into like mental training and stuff and like actually want to pursue this? For instance, like if someone got into powerlifting and they love the deadlift and they started doing it 20 times a week and hurt themselves, are there any kind of mistakes you see like that with mental training?
You have to get in. Everybody's individual,
Sure.
Josh. They made progress at different ways of training. 20 times a week a deadlift is not gonna.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody's individualized to a point. Like there's some stuff.
Everybody's individual. Some people make good progress just one day a week. Some people make progress 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Some people make progress every 14 days.
Okay.
You got to experiment and determine what is best for you, because you're different than other lifters. You got to find what is best for you. I could give examples, but it's what I'm saying is not is the truth for you. You have to determine the truth for you by your own.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. So, and then this was an interesting one. I said I'd ask it, but I know this is going to be the same type of answers. What are some realistic expectations? Because, you know, the way I look at it is, if somebody is, you know, some people are like more born this type of way. They may not know these formal techniques. They got it. You know, just how somebody can deadlift 500 the first times, somebody might struggle 5 years to get 315. So I don't know what the realistic expectations are, because you might have somebody that's, you know, highly underperforming. They're a genetic thoroughbred, but
you're genetic,
mentally
because
something ain't clicking, so they double their lifts doing this. Somebody else might have every other factor taken care of, and you don't add 5% just because.
Yeah, you have to go with genetic limitations, you know, or genetic limitations is a mindset also. You know, we never know what's in genetic. You know.
And are there someone else asked, are there any side effects you think of to implementing, you know, mental, like negative side effects that, and if there are, how are they avoided?
The negative side effects. Negative side effects. If you want to, you know, go beyond your limit and get injured, you know, that could be it too. You know.
Yeah, and that's the tough one. Is like with powerlifting. I mean, that's what I always tell anybody with strength training. There is, you know, when you start taking the competitive, you know, realm, it's no longer like you're doing this to extend your life, be more healthy, that kind of thing. It becomes competition at that point, so you're pushing it to the limit. It's not about health at that point, you know.
Yeah, we can't, you know, we don't know what our limit is. We'll never, you know, we don't know what our limit is.
Yeah, I mean, people are, you know, proving that every day. If another one was, if you have a goal but find it impossible to see yourself achieving that goal, how would you go about that?
If you find it impossible,
say my goal is to deadlift 800, but I cannot realistically see that happening. What would be your solution?
Your goal should be deadlifting the best you can. Not pick a number. You know what I mean? Pick a number is a limiting. You know, just feel. Yeah, you know, you see yourself doing the best you can. Feel yourself doing the best you can. Don't pick a number, you know?
Well, and you could also say, okay, if you think that's impossible, I mean, what do you do now? Let's say 450, okay? Why, you know, if you're going to pick a number, why don't you pick 500 and make it more, you know, more realistic in the short term? Because, you know, if you do have a quantitative, you know, measuring factor and it's so far off where you know, achieving smaller milestones along the way, you're gonna have more success.
Yeah, just feel yourself achieving it. You know, get the feeling of your developing the best you can.
This was another. Now this one was a different question that I've never had someone ask this one before. This was pretty interesting. He was asking if you've ever strategized an aspect of fear or brutality, meaning like before you squat. You know, visualize yourself blowing out your knees or something like that.
No.
Well, because what I said, like the only thing,
if you visualize yourself blowing out your knees, that may happen.
Well, you know, because I think it might have been like misconstrued to the fact of like when I used to box, I would sometimes picture myself, you know, visualize myself in a sticky situation, but it would also successfully being out like someone has you in the ropes. I'm gonna kind of get I'm going to kind of turn around real quick, get that in the corner, then go to town on them. And so you're in a bad situation, but you're succeeding from that. But it never was actually like getting hurt, because some people are talking about actually visualizing yourself something really bad happen. It doesn't make sense to me, but I figured, hey, if someone wants to know, and apparently some people have done this with success, I wouldn't do it, but I figured I'd ask you.
What you want to do is get into the feeling of doing your best. You know, you visualize first, then you hear, but then you get into the feeling. You concentrate on the feeling, not visual, because that's analytical.
Okay.
And I think that, you know, detracts from your performance. If you get into, you know, I get into the feeling.
So
I visualize myself doing a good deadlift or bad. You know, I worked on form and everything while I was training, but when I went out there to compete, I didn't think about that. The only thing I thought I tried to get into is the feeling, not the visual. when you analyze, I think that detracts from your performance. My opinion only, though.
Well, I think you're onto something because have you ever heard of the four stages of learning where they talk about there's initially there's unconscious incompetence, then there's conscious incompetence, then there's all that's then eventually you want to get to the goal is to get to unconscious competence where just things happen automatically, like you're not even conscious.
Within your goal, that's the ultimate.
Yeah, because I feel like that's a problem.
Happen automatically. Yeah.
And powerlifting nowadays is obviously can be some really helpful cues to help someone improve their technique in a lift, but some people are getting it so far of like giving 7 or 8 things before someone goes out to do a competition squat, and it's just going to mess them up. Where like for me, like you said, I get in a feeling. It was like my feeling was get tight, be explosive, and I didn't even really think about anything. It's just if I can get in that mindset of what it takes to feel like when I'm explosive, I'm going to go out there. It's going to happen, and by that point, when you're advanced, if I missed a lift, say a squat, it was just too much weight. It wasn't like my technique broke down or this or that bad happened. It's just I got to a point where I overshot today. Oh well, type of thing.
Yeah.
Where I think you can't over cue stuff. You can't especially the more, I guess what's the word we're looking for, the more advanced the sport, or like the more advanced the skill set required for the sport is, like obviously a snatch or something is be much more complex than a deadlift.
Yeah.
And the more complex it gets, the least you got to be analyzing that, or it's going to be horrible. Especially like
I think analyzation takes away from it.
Yeah, or especially like any kind of combat sport where where someone can hurt you, like MMA or even football. Running back's not stopping to like look around and see where they go. It's just on the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
definitely.
Another person was asking, and this guy actually does really well at meets. Like he always hits way over what he hits in the gym, and he trains hard. But he was saying he has trouble kind of like not being able to like focus in the gym sometimes. Like he always does the work required. Like work ethic's not a problem. Like if you told him to squat for 20 sets, he's going to do 20 sets of squats. It's more a deal of like where his focus is. He says he has trouble like just dropping everything when he gets into the gym. Do you have any kind of advice for that?
Yeah, in the gym you're working on technique, Josh.
Okay. But
then that's good. That's a good, that he's doing it in the meets. He allows it to happen in the meets. That's where he wants to perform his best.
No, but this isn't like issues of. I'm talking like issues like there's something going on at work you got to deal with, or something. Nothing to do with training. Like he's having trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any advice on how to kind of like disrupt that problem?
Again, you could do that relaxation thing, and then visualize and feel it, and you could perform the trigger when you're training too, and that'll get you in a positive mindset. The trigger. So, I did that when I'm training too.
Tell them more about the trigger thing, because not everybody's going to know about this.
Okay, you get into a relaxed state and you see what you're going to see. You're doing your best slip. You hear what you heard, and then you get into the feeling of doing your best slip. When you did your best slip, you get into the feeling, then you trigger with anything. Like I use a clenched fist.
Okay, so
and then when I do it before I go to bed, you clench that fist and get the feeling when you wake up, and then when you're training, you clench that fist and get that successful mindset also when you're training.
Now, let me ask you 2 things with that. So when you do that prior to bed, that doesn't keep you up? You're not like jacked up again? Or you're okay to relax and go to sleep?
Yeah, I go to bed.
That's the only thing that worried me. That makes sense.
I get in a relaxed state, and then I allow myself to relax.
Okay, so that let's go back to this, and that's perfect. And so what correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying, this is the only question I'd have. Are you playing back something that previously happened, so you're drawing on a previous experience?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would come back, relax yourself, mentally get into a state where you were at your best, and you start to see what that feels like. And then so once you get that feeling of where you are, you would clench your fist.
Yeah.
And then you just, and then next time you clench your fist, or does it have to be done over and over, or how do you make that like stick?
You keep programming into your mind. Clench the fist. You could just not when you're successful. You could get in. You could make where you are successful. you feel yourself successful, even if you haven't done it before. You try to get into a success mindset, to develop that also.
So you could draw from a previous experience that already has happened to the rest of the world,
experience or something, where you know what I mean?
So you could also draw from one that has already taken place in your own mind, but hasn't taken place the rest of the world yet. It's just like something like I have a goal to deadlift 900, so I'm seeing myself do 900, and I know what that feels like. So now I clench my fist and recall.
Yeah, you could do that. That's
So yeah, because I mean, in your
but that's a little harder to do than what you did previous.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that would be like a more advanced technique. Like once you got
more advanced technique, correct?
So yes. I would say then, from what you're saying here, in my personal experience, is you would want to start off drawing from previous experiences, and as you do that, then maybe you can try some other stuff. But this would be kind of like
correct. You could start off with drawing from previous experience, then try to develop a goal experience where you see yourself doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See yourself, hear yourself, and feel what you will feel when you're,
Okay.
Like, say, my main goal, Josh, is to be a great basketball player, which I've never done before.
Yeah.
And I could see I could develop it where I could see myself being a great basketball player, or using a role model also. Using a role model and seeing myself as that role model,
So kind of, yeah. So yeah, it would make sense though then for you to draw off like, okay, Vince Anello set the world record in the deadlift, so you already had success there, and like to draw off that success to transfer to basketball, because it's gonna be a tougher sell mentally to to see yourself playing one-on-one with Michael Jordan, So that makes sense.
The main mindset, like as I've read about in various, is abandon the ego.
That's it. Fred Hatfield. Let's get into that, because that was Fred Hatfield's. Like, he used to talk about that. I remember one time we were in a boat in Japan. We did some seminars there. And we did like a day off, and we took this boat out to this island. It was a long ride out there, and he literally talked about abandoning the ego the whole ride. So
yeah, that's the main. Like in business, let's say, get into different. In business, Josh, I know nothing about business, how to run a business, but I get into the mindset that I want to help people. I abandon my ego that I don't know anything. I'm going to try to learn this about business. I'm going to try to learn that. I abandon that, and I just get into the mindset of helping people. And I've been in Anello Body Fitness has been in business. I've been in business since 2000, and I know nothing about business. In fact, I graduated from college. I was a phys ed major, and I took a business course once and failed it.
Well,
I know nothing about business.
Well, a lot of college professors don't too, so you might have actually had an advantage there. But that's a whole other topic. People that have never ran a business teaching it, but no, that's interesting. So, what do you have some sort of like kind of like, I heard like a lot. I don't know if it's like a Zen concept or where that's from. Do you have where is this whole abandon the ego type of thing come from originally? Because I've heard this in a lot of different things.
God, there's Zen. There's all kinds of different philosophies out there how to abandon the ego. I don't know. A lot of religious stuff. I don't know.
And what do you think, like outside of lifting wise? That's interesting, because a lot of people a lot of people might think they're making progress because of their ego. Like, I don't want so and so to catch up to me. I want to.
Yeah.
So that's why this concept fascinates me, because it's kind of goes against the grain of what you see nowadays with lifting a lot.
That's a limiting force too. The ego is a limiting force. I think when you go out, you abandon the ego. I don't even. When I went out there to lift, I just went out there and I didn't even know. You know what I mean?
Because
what I would have to do, that I would go out there and just abandon my.
Basically, what you're doing, you're like detaching from the outcome. I think what it is, right? Like, it's just
detached from the outcome.
You're immersed in this present moment, like, and it's no longer I am this, or I was that, or I need to be this. It's just I'm fully immersed and focused in this present moment.
Immersed in the feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. Not what's happening in the present, but what's the feeling.
Well, when you're immersed in the feeling, it seems like what happens in the present moment just is automatically going to be the right thing.
Allow it to happen. You know what I mean?
Do you?
Like everybody they say, let go and let God. Just let it go and allow it to happen.
Are you religious at all, or?
I'm spiritual now.
Okay.
As old I get, I'm more spiritual. But again, Josh, when you see, everybody has different, religions. The person, you look at how the person around the world was constructed, and how we're constructed here. The same creative force did the same, but we may have different religious beliefs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an interesting point. Yeah,
have integrity and give out love to we got a lot of me and my wife go on cruises. We met people in different parts of the world that are what I mean.
Where all of you guys travel?
World that we got around really great with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The creative force is out there. And just try to connect with that, no matter what religion you are. Just connect with that universal force. That's
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, I'm here to learn, not to give. I want to hear what you say.
I don't know anything compared to what's out there. I don't think anybody knows. Compared to what's out there, nobody knows so little about anything. So that's why I keep an open mind.
Yeah, I think you definitely do a very good job of keeping an open mind. That's for sure. Yeah,
I'm not saying, hey, my way is right. No, it's on my own. What's helped me and my people that clients and everything. What's helped. It's not. I'm not saying it's the truth, absolute truth. No, it's work for us. It's work for me. It's not. I'm not saying it's it's the only way.
Yeah,
no, it's the only way.
Well,
there's so many ways out there.
That is interesting though. With different religions, a lot of it's that abandoning the ego. I think would be a pretty common theme amongst religions and spiritual and philosophical traditions that have done well for people.
Yeah. No matter what your religion is, be nice, have integrity. You know what I mean? And send love to other people, no matter what their beliefs
Well, if
are.
you're truly seeking God, you'd have to abandon your ego, right? Because
if you're truly seeking,
because it wouldn't be about this or that. It'd be about you're seeking God, not like trying to necessarily just prove your point or whatever.
You're seeking the universal force, which we are all part of, I believe.
Well, did you have a more traditional religious background at one time or no?
Yeah, I grew up Catholic.
Okay.
That's a great, also, but that's not, what I mean?
Yeah. There are a lot of real spiritual monks, yeah, for sure.
As I get older, I'm getting more spiritual.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to say, hey, my way of thinking is the only way.
No, I mean I'm a Christian, but I like to hear what you have to say here. So I appreciate you sharing this with everybody.
Yeah, I grew up Catholic. My parents were into that.
Is that did you teach at were you a teacher at a Catholic school, or was that a public school?
No, it was a public school.
Okay. How long have you been retired for now?
Oh God, I traveled a lot. I did a lot of substitute teaching.
Okay.
I did a lot of substitute. Here, they had me. My is physical education, and they had me. Teach different. But I taught a lot. They put me in places where their kids had behavioral problems.
That's cool. What grade was it?
And I wouldn't, because when I was winning I wouldn't use force. This one guy, he was really big, and he was really, I'd say, hey man, I said, you look pretty big. Why don't you train with me? So he was on my, he trained with me and became a power lifter.
And do you train mostly by yourself back then, or?
I trained different places, with different people,
Were you is that where were you part of Black's Health World back there?
Yeah, I went to Black's Health World. I started off at Vince's gym, Vince Lubowicki.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he died of lymphoma.
Okay.
And then I went other ways. I trained in with different Duke's gym over there. I trained in Bodybuilder's gym over there with Pep Wall over there. And I trained a lot of places. I did my best training after Vince's gym in 1977 in a basement.
Okay.
With about 4 or 5 wild, lifters, and I won my world championship. We just trained in an old, dirty basement.
Well, let me ask you just a couple more questions about this. So, is that when you talk about the clinch fist, is that dynamic spin release or no, or is that?
No. We could, I could demonstrate it.
Sure.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Demonstrate.
What are you doing?
You want me to put you in a relaxed state?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. I started off with transcendental meditation. Then I did silver mind training, and I took courses all right.
How's the silver mind training? I know that was popular, kind of more before I got into this kind of stuff. So how was it?
Yes.
Was it pretty good or?
Oh yeah, it's just you visualize, feel, and hear.
Have you done anything with NLP before?
Oh yeah, NLP. Yeah, Tony Robbins. I went to see some of his. He had a seminar over here in Cleveland. I went over there in the '80s, I believe. He's transferring in something else too now.
Yeah, he called it, instead of NLP, like neuro-associative conditioning or something.
Neuro-associative
but it's the same thing. That's why I asked, because they had something similar to that. So yeah, let's do it though. I'm ready to do what you need me to do to show everybody.
Okay. We'll put you in a relaxed state, Josh.
Okay.
Inhale for the count of 3. Exhale for the count of 6. Inhale for the count of 3. Exhale for the count of 6. As you inhale, think relax. As you exhale, think deep relax. You're starting to feel very relaxed. I want you now to visualize a wave of relaxation washing down your body. It's going through your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms. Going through your arms into your torso. Through your torso into your hips. Through your hips to your legs, washing all the tension into your feet and into the earth. You become very relaxed. You're now at the bottom of an escalator. This escalator is going up into the clouds. As you easily step on the escalator, you feel your body going up and up, higher and higher, more and more relaxed. You're going up higher and higher. More and more relaxed. You go up, up, up your escalator, going up higher and higher. As you near the top, you see a nice soft white cloud. As you easily step off onto the cloud, you feel your body floating in the air. Floating, floating, floating on your cloud. All your cares, all your worries are floating out of your body as you effortlessly float, float, float on your cloud. Enjoy the pleasant feeling. It's time to come down off your cloud, time to come down. As you easily step back on the escalator, you feel your body going down and down, deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. You're going down and down, deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. Go down, down, down your escalator, going down and down. As you near the bottom, you see a neon sign with the word relax flashing on and off. Relax, relax, relax. I'm going to now count from 10 to 1. When I reach 1, you be in an extremely relaxed state. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very, very relaxed now. Very relaxed. Whenever you wish to re-enter this relaxed state, put your thumb and forefinger together of your left hand. When you do so, you'll fall in a relaxed state. But make sure you're not driving or doing anything that requires your attention. I want you now to think of a time when you were performing your best, when you're top of your game, in any of the 3 lifts, in any of the 3 lifts or anything else. Think of when you were at the top of your game. Now, bring into your consciousness anything you saw. What did you see? Background, scenery, people, equipment, anything out there. What did you see? Bring all that into your consciousness. In any environment, when you were extremely successful, when you're at your best. Now, I want you to hear what you heard. What did you hear when you were performing your best? What were other people saying to them, each other? What were you saying when you talked to other people? And what was your internal dialogue when you're performing your best? Get into that. Get into that. Now, I want you to hear what you heard. I want you to feel. Get into the feel when you're performing. Feel when you're performing. Get into that feel. When you could actually get into that feel. Nod your heads. Okay, Josh. What part of the body is it in?
Solar plexus.
Okay, take it in the solar plexus. Put it out in front of you. Put it out in front of you. Put it out in front of you, Josh. When you're performing your best. Now take your finger. Put your finger. Put it out there. Put it out there. Out in front of you. Now, I want you to, which way is it rotating? Which way is it rotating? Rotate your finger clockwise or counterclockwise. What increases the intensity of your performance?
This way.
Clockwise or counterclockwise?
Guess it's counterclockwise.
Okay, get it going. Get it faster. Faster, faster, faster. Could you feel it increasing?
Yeah.
Get it going faster, faster, faster. What is a number? Give me a number.
99.
9? Get it going faster, 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 faster. When it gets to 10, clench your fist. Show me the fist. Is it 10?
Mm-hmm.
Clench that fist. Now, relax. This is your homework, Josh. This is your homework. When you go to bed at night, before you go to sleep, clench that right fist and feel yourself performing your best. When you wake up in the morning before you get out of bed, clench that right fist and feel yourself performing your best. And when you're training, even before you train, clench that right fist and feel it. Getting yourself in a positive mindset. And then when you're competing, clench that right fist and keep that positive mindset. Okay. I'm going to now count from 1 to 10. When I reach 10, you're going to open your eyes, feel very refreshed but full of energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open your eyes. How'd you like that?
A lot.
Huh?
I like it, especially for the relaxation one as much as the performance one, because as soon as you said that, it was like, I felt like I was almost going to go to sleep.
How about that when you put your finger out there and you rotate it, correct?
Yeah, you can definitely feel it for sure, 100%.
Good.
I mean, it was obviously counterclockwise too. There was no, it wasn't like, because I tried doing it clockwise and wasn't feeling it as then, you know.
Yeah. Everybody's different, though.
Does that matter? Does that mean anything? Is there a deep?
No. No, Josh. Everybody's different.
Sure.
Some people get better. I get better counterclockwise also. You know what I mean? And some people get better clockwise. Everybody's different.
So, if people want to get this kind of training, I mean, can they get in touch with you, or how would one go about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I do. Like I did that gentleman,
Okay.
I trained him on mental training and should increase his from Sweden, wasn't it?
Yep, from Sweden, and he's. It was interesting because the first time I talked to him, I think he was talking about this interview and stuff. So, and he was saying, "What do I think?" And I'm like, "You need to do it, man. If you want to do it." And it's helped him a lot because, not only has he's made tremendous strength gains, he's also
Yeah.
had to work around some injuries and stuff, and it's been just helpful all around. So I think, it's huge because I used to do a lot of stuff, but I did like hypnosis more. And the hypnotist, he actually died, but he was an older guy who's retired, and it was very similar. We didn't do so much. I wish we would have done stuff like the fist and stuff, but like
Yeah.
we basically replayed a lot of those feelings over and over, like exact same type of stuff. But I like this because you sort of have an anchor, or the NLP they call it an anchor. This is the anchor when you need that feeling.
An anchor or trigger. Just in my,
Yeah.
it's just a.
He used to call it which is interesting though. Dr. Will, the hypnotist, he used to call it a bridge. He was saying it's building a bridge to what you want to do, and I like that term because he said an anchor weights you down, but a bridge brings you what you want. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I used hypnosis last time when I got into that when it was in the 70s. I had my wisdom tooth pulled with hypnosis.
Oh wow. Did it work well?
Anesthetic. That's why I said, "Why? My gosh!" That made me get in more into mental training too. He pulled my.
Yeah, hypnosis is interesting because basically you can't be hypnotized if you don't believe it or want to, unless there's like something like 1% of people are very suggestible, and those are the ones you can get on stage at a nightclub to do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But majority of people, if they don't believe it, they don't want to. That's sort of you talk about religion and stuff. Is like that's particularly in the Bible they talk about like faith of like get up like the blind man get up and walk away. It's not like repeat this what would you call it? Repeat this what do they call that? I don't know, like doctrine over and over again. It's like no, if you believe, get up and walk away. So regardless of what your religion is, that may be sort of like the key there is to actually believe it. It's not necessarily like because there'll be like a Hindu shrine, a Christian shrine, a Muslim shrine. They've all gotten good results. And, the common factor is faith.
Common factor is, I think is sending love, getting love, and sending positive energy to people.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Belief
even when you're competing, you don't think, "Hey, I'm going to beat you, man." No, hey, I hope you do the best you can. I'm sending you positive energy.
Well,
I'm saying, "No, I'm going to kick your butt." No, I'm sending positive energy.
Well, even Mike Tyson said a happy fighter is the most dangerous fighter. Because you're doing what you love. It's not like because I remember one time when I was boxing someone I didn't like. Was sparring him, and I finally ended up beating him at the end. But like, I should have beaten him pretty easily, but I didn't like this person so much. I was getting all tight and like, I couldn't punch and stuff and do what I needed to do the way I was supposed to. But then once I kind of like got tired, I guess I got so fatigued because I was so tightened up that I finally had to relax to finish, and then I just lit him up. But it was no longer like I want to kill you to like, I'm just I see a silhouette in front of me, and I need to hit that silhouette when there's an opening. So,
can I tell you another story?
Yeah,
I talked about boxing and that. I don't remember the name, but back in the 70s, this gentleman was in martial arts. He had fought the world champion to a draw.
Okay.
And he was publicized, and people knew who he was. So he came to Cleveland. So he came over to Vince's gym.
Sure.
We were up there talking about mental training. But he was so laid back. We talked about how to increase, mental training. So we all the lifters and him, we went out to eat. We went into this, it was a bar, a restaurant, and people knew who he was. And some guys got drunk, and they came, "Hey, man, I could probably kick your butt." And he looked at him. He says, "You know what? You probably could." And he could have killed him with one finger.
Yeah.
But he said, he looked at him and says, you probably could kick my butt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that'd be like the average person on the street just come up to you saying they can out deadlift you or something. It's ludicrous, but not worth not worth it. He's not being dictated by his ego.
Yeah. Yeah, he just looked at him and said, yeah, you probably could kick my butt.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was really good, Vince. So I think this is probably.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it. So I think we'll wrap up now and definitely do this again. So anything else you want to add or wait?
If anybody wants to do mind change, just email me. Get into my website there and email me.
What's the website?
AmericanStrengthLegends.com.
Okay. And then also, if any guys, I'll also refer you that way too. If you have my email and don't have Vince's or something, you can't find his website.
Or you can get my email. So, email me and
He's on Facebook too, active on Facebook. So, definitely somebody worth getting in touch with. Definitely somebody will give you great service for a very fair price. And Daniel was very, very pleased. Thought it was a great deal, and it was just awesome thing. And I think if you've been struggling or anything, this would be obviously I think this will help anybody. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over, it's kind of the definition of insanity. So if you need a change, hit Vince up and get some good mental training here.
I appreciate it, Josh. And thank you for the interview.
Yeah, Vince has my full 100% endorsement though. So I've also, it's funny. We did this thing one other time, and I have gotten away from this a little bit. So now this was like a reminder of okay, I just replayed bench pressing 600 the first time. I just re-experienced that happening in Austin, Texas, in 2003. I just experienced that one more time. I even remembered like the music. I remember the way the announcer was sort of like it was here in Texas, but the announcer was like almost like overdoing being from Texas. Had like these big belt buckle, cowboy boots. Had like it's just like I remembered everything. And I remember the song I was listening to. I had back then no one had like an iPod. I had one of those yellow Walkman that played cassette tapes. I remember I had everything like exactly down to what happened, and I just relived it. So that was cool. So now I can draw on this when I need to.
You get you in that positive mental state, Josh.
My only concern is being able to sleep after I get excited. So I'm gonna give it a fair shot.
It's exciting. I get into that positive mindset, and then I go to sleep, and it's sort of I get that positive mindset. I actually sleep better.
Okay.
With that positive mindset.
That would make sense because you definitely one of the issues with like people not sleeping well and stuff is stress. So if you're putting yourself in a positive mindset, that would obviously counteract that idea, right? So that makes sense.
Oh, I also want to, I'm just getting into this. It's called Riffy.
What?
Riffy, R-I-F-E.
Okay.
They have different tones. You get into when you want to have a peaceful tone, you get into that. I downloaded the app and I listen to that. And it helps you sleep and everything, and it's called Riffy, R-I-F-E. Look into it.
Is it? Yeah, I'll do that right now. Is it? And it's
I've been using it a week and a half. I downloaded the app and it seems to help, but I'm not I haven't full experience of it yet.
I'm going to show it to you. Make sure it's the right one. I'm pulling it up right now. Is it the PMF frequency or the tone amplifier?
Gosh, I have to look at my phone. I'm not, but there's different techniques.
Is it like those those brain waves?
Brain waves. It works with your brain waves.
Oh, I have one. I'll show. I wonder if I'm going to show you right now. This one. So I do this one a lot. See this? It's like gets you in like a theta state of like your brainwaves. So I just listen to it, and it's like you put it on, and it's like you're in a meditative state really quickly. So really quickly. Like instead of like if you sit there and do it yourself, say it takes 2 minutes, it's like 30 seconds type of deal. Yeah. So it's very, very relaxing to do. The only issue I've found with it, sometimes you get too relaxed and accidentally go to sleep when you don't want to, and then you're up later. Like, so I do it more. It's a good way to, I think there'd be interesting to do this after you train hard too. You know what I mean? Because you're so jacked up.
Oh yeah, because it relaxes you. Yeah.
I mean,
but this other riffy, it puts you like if you want to like a concentrated state of mind, you put that on. You listen to it for half hour. So
okay, I'll check it out. Cool.
Concentration, or if you want to have anything.
Okay. Very
Look
good.
into it.
I will. Thank you, Vince. I appreciate everything.
Thank you, John.
I'll be in trouble.
I
Be in touch. Thanks.
It's an honor.
Okay.
It's an honor
Thank you, sir.
You interview. It's an honor.
It's an honor to talk to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All
buddy.
right.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.